Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Aries December 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. And what does that mean? That means that in today's reading, and actually all content on this channel, is here to help you illuminate what makes you unique. Illuminate parts about yourself and your experience so that you can better see your path, understand your purpose, and really see where you fit into the greater collective experience through understanding your own uniqueness. So in this reading, we are going to be taking a look at a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome in the month of December that's going to help unlock something specific about yourself. We're going to dive into what that is, and then we're going to dive into the challenge, the blocks, and then advice from Spirit as to how to overcome it, and then pull additional clarifiers to get a little deeper into the message for you guys. So as I was sitting here pulling your cards, we have the energy that you're bringing into the month of December, Aries. It's the Ace of Wands. Beautiful energy. This is reconnection to your eternal flame. This could be new inspiration. This can be that idea that comes in out of the blue. This could be just the rekindling of something that you've loved in the past, or it's just a reconnection to feeling that fire. You know, Aries, you are the cardinal fire sign. And so you really understand how to work from a place of passion, how to take action from that place, that direct connection to the I am. And you constantly have this ability to keep that fire within you burning and to lead from that place as well, because that's what the cardinal air signs are all about, leadership. So for some of you, you're really kind of coming into your own again, but from a place of starting again. And why do I say that? Because in your external environment, we have the 10 of Wands. This is the energy of finally putting down the burden. This is when we've felt like we've gone so far. You can see the individual looks like he's struggling to carry all the weight. And it is a card that signifies the end of a long cycle, and the end as well of where you get to finally have a homecoming. You get to put down the burden you've been carrying, and you get to take a look at all that action, everything that happened over the 10 card cycle. And you get to take a look at what is the one thing now, if you were to go forward, that you would like to take. What's that one piece of action? And it could be the very first wand you picked up. That was that something that felt fresh, something that felt inspiring, something that felt like this was, you could see where the journey was going to go. And maybe the journey became a little harder than you were expecting. But the beauty of this is that what you're unlocking about yourself is your ability to move forward from a place of fun and a place of kind of being unburdened. And why do I say that? Because we have justice coming in. We have the Fool on top of that. And then what you're unlocking about yourself is the Knight of Wands, which is perfect for this season because we are in Sagittarius season. The Knight of Wands is a card that harnesses the energy of Sagittarius. He is, or she is, or they are the spiritual adventurer. They are the individual that goes forward with their passion and is doing so from a place of kind of lighthearted, what feels good? Where can I work with this passion? What am I going to experience from life that's going to help expand my perspective, my worldview, my ability to just enjoy the experience of living? Now, with the Fool coming in, this is beautiful energy. The Justice card here it signifies that something has come and been rebalanced. Now, for many of you, this could actually be where there was a contract that was made or broken. This can be where maybe you unfortunately went through a breakup or a divorce, and suddenly you are unburdened by that other, that difficult relationship, and now you are the Fool starting out again. Or it could be where you released yourself from a job and suddenly, without having to bear the weight of that job or that business, you are free. You're ready to go out on the grand adventure. But if you notice, the Fool is also holding what looks like, again, almost like a wand with his little knapsack. He is ready to leap off the cliff with abandon because he knows that his needs will be met by spirit, by the divine, by the universe. And he doesn't have to bear this burden of all of these wands. And that's what, when justice comes in here, that's something came down for you either, recently or possibly, further in the past, that allowed an area of imbalance in your life to be rebalanced and to have a positive effect. Sometimes we think about when something like that happens that it could be negative. We lose a job, we lose a relationship, we have to move to a different location, something along those lines. And yet the reality of it is that in that happening, we are able then to start anew someplace where a lot of times we don't even realize what had become a burden to us. And suddenly, I think for some of you, there was this release, there was this fresh start, and the reconnection to this passion now within you is, I feel, relatively new. This is what you're working with in December, but what you're unlocking about yourself is if you truly can put down this burden, you have the ability to start a new adventure. And that adventure starts with that single idea, that single inspiration. This is the start of a new cycle. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Especially when we think about it, we're moving into the new year. So you guys are very much prepared for that. Okay, so let's go ahead here. We're going to take a look at the challenge and blocks you're going to be asked to face and really being able to release that burden. Yes, we have the Moon and the Eight of Swords. This is a lack of clarity. For some of you, the Moon, I feel when it comes up, this is your main challenge position with these two right here. The Moon can be where we don't want to take action because the way is unknown or because we can't quite see. It's basically what it's stating is that the outcome is not a sure thing, because we can't quite see clearly. We're walking in the moonlight. We're not with the full sun light of day. We can't quite see everything. The way is full of shadows. And with the Eight of Swords coming in after that, that's where we kind of get stuck in that negative mental programming of I can't. So you can see these people are kind of aimlessly wandering through the swords. Those swords are each a thought that we have put in place that says I can't because, I won't because. If I do this, then that will happen. And it can be a very frustrating experience. And I think for many of you, there has been this reconnection to this inspiration. I mean, this can even be you guys connecting to, passion on a romantic level, or passion in a hobby that you've rekindled, or passion just for life itself. And you want to go out there, maybe just start to experience things. You want to start going on dates again. You want to just book that trip for the heck of it. You want to, buy that awesome outfit that makes you feel fantastic. But then there's something here where you're like, yes, but I remember the past of when all of this became a burden for me. And now that I'm reconnecting here, what if? This is a lot of that kind of, I feel like I'm being called out. I feel the excitement. I see the possibility, but I can't. And what Spirit's asking you to embrace here with the Queen of Cups at the heart of your reading is to embrace that unconditional love for yourself, the unconditional love for others, but also embracing the importance of what you feel, what's in your cup, what are those needs, those dreams, those hopes, and how can you nurture them? How can you be that unconditional loving kind of mother archetype energy to yourself? How can you really say internally to you, I value I always look at this card too as the eternal flame. This is our direct kind of connection. It's like plugging yourself back into the universal consciousness, to spirit, to be like, ding, here's me again. I'm lit up on the inside like a Christmas tree. And there's a feeling here of really honoring that even if, and for many of you, this inspiration could literally be a business idea. It could be the creative inspiration for a book, a creative inspiration for something you want to paint, or again, create in some aspect of your life, but you're like, I'm feeling called to do this, but I don't know the outcome, the moon. I often talk about this card being, can you walk this path on faith? Because if you notice, the lobster is being called up out of the sea, a comfort zone, by the moon to make a trip on land. And this is often where we are asked to leave a comfort zone, that we might have to leave a geographic location. We might have to leave a way that we've always done something. This could be like having, a business idea, and you're too maybe wrapped up in having to work the 9 to 5 instead of saying, I need to start putting things in place for me to start to grow this business idea. And eventually I will see where it goes. It's interesting. I have a young daughter. She's a toddler, and we watch Sesame Street. And I'm going to say this, so for many of you who are parents, you probably have already heard this on Sesame Street numerous times, because I believe it's in almost every episode. But they go through this process of trying to build curiosity in children. And they go through this thing where they have these 3 steps where it says, when you're, kind of stuck with a problem, you say, oh, now I can't even think of it. It's gone out of my head. It's something like, let's see, what if, and let's try. Something like that. It's like you ask a question, then you say, well, what if, and then let's do it. And that what if is always a positive what if. It's not a negative what if. You're basically sitting there and saying, well, yeah, what if? Let's try. And that's the energy of the Fool. That's the energy also of the Knight of Wands. Like, let's just try to go out there and make it happen. And that's the surest way to kind of get out of the 8 of Swords and into the Queen of Cups, honoring what you feel and honoring also the beauty of who you are and the fact that you have this inspiration, or the fact that you have rekindled this flame within yourself. Because on the other side of that, we have the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is the energy of kind of the masculine version of the Queen of Cups. These two, one is the feminine, the receptive, the unconditional love, and the King of Cups is the other. This is where it's a little bit more coming from a place of, you being strong and mature in your emotions to be able to then utilize those emotions and how you take action moving forward. This is more of a kind of moving outward with your emotions, and this is going inward with your emotions. Now, for some of you, just in seeing this, there can be, you guys possibly, now this could be a very specific message for just a handful of you. You could be dealing with a Scorpio in your life. That is the King of Cups energy. There may be a need to, harness kind of the other side to that, where you both kind of meet on the same page. Or this can be where possibly, and I'm curious to see, I did see the Lovers at the bottom of the deck here as I was talking. This may be where you have the opportunity to kind of meet a significant other in your life that really balances your energy, Aries. So we have 9 of Pentacles. I love that as your main final challenge. And then the Queen of Wands. Ooh. And there you are, Aries. That is your card in the tarot. You are being asked to step into your fire. So if you think about it, you go from the Ace of Wands to the Queen of Wands. She knows how to work with her magic wand. She knows how to work with her eternal flame. I mean, look at the look on her face. She knows. This is, I always like to say, kind of brings in the energy of the witch archetype in our experience. This knowledge that we get to manifest from a place of our passion, what we want, where we want it. She's a very magnetic, attractive individual. She brings people to her. She's able to, again, through her creative efforts, be able to create what she wants, where she wants it. Now, with the 9 of Pentacles, this says you guys are sitting in a place of abundance in the physical plane. You guys have something. Now, some of you may say, well, what? I don't feel that way. But you maybe need to look at the resources that you have, because the Nine of Pentacles is a card of basically financial independence, or independence in a way where you have accumulated a lot of something, a lot of free time, a lot of, if again, financial, it could be like having a sizable savings account. This could be anything that is tangible that you have a lot of. You could have a beautiful home with a lot of property, even that you have something to. And the Queen of Wands, she's going to take what she has and she's going to use that to her advantage to work with her passion. So there's something here around, again, re-sparking the fresh spark, a reconnection to who you are, the I am. But yet there's a fear here of, but the way is unclear, or I don't know what's going to happen if I follow this new inspiration, this new reconnection to myself. And this is saying, if you can really hold that unconditional love for yourself and also step into, I think I don't know why I'm seeing it this way, but I think it's how it's come up here, that there is a strong potential for a partnership here with the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. A strong, balanced partnership for many of you on an emotional level. But it's going to require that you really start to work with your passions. You really start to take action from that place. You start to own your magic. Because where the challenge with the Nine of Pentacles can come in is when we are kind of, and I've noticed it's coming into many of the readings this month, that there's this kind of feeling of being in the gilded cage, that yes, everything is beautiful, we're safe, secure, we have our routine, we seem to be good, we can travel when we want, or we can buy that thing that we want and not feel bad about it. But then there's this element of, but are you expanding yourself? Are you growing? Are you continuing to work with your passions? Or are you just kind of going day to day in the comfort? And the Queen of Wands, she's someone who, I always think of her as like, and for those of you who are unfamiliar with kind of, older actors and actresses from the 40s and 50s, you may not know who this is, but I always think of her as like the Bette Davis character, that she's going to come in and just kind of knock your socks off with just being who she is, fiery, not afraid to state it like it is, not afraid to, again, if somebody says, I wish we had this, she can just literally, through her own passionate actions, somehow attract the right things to come in to make it happen. She's the one that's going to walk up to the front of the line at a club and just talk her way in. So really understand that that kind of energy is what you're always working with, Aries. You have this very strong connection to yourself. That is your motto in the Zodiac, I am. And I think for many of you, it's been a long journey to get back to this point. But it's like you really have to now, I think, kind of go out of your comfort zone. And that can be a very difficult, especially when we've had to go work so hard to get to this level of either financial independence or just, to a level of stability that feels very comfortable for you on, in some physical aspect of your life. Okay, so I'm going to pull some additional cards here. So for the moon, we have the Four of Wands. Okay, building a potential foundation from a place of passion. So yeah, the Four of Wands could be, building that foundation for a business. It could be getting married. It could be, building that home. But there's something around with that. Again, the way is unclear. Okay, there's a little too many cards there. Let's see if we can get just a few. Okay, yeah, Two of Coins. Yeah, Two of Coins is a card of, trying to find the balance in what we do day to day. And I think for some of you, maybe there's a little bit, because twos can always denote a decision that needs to be made. There may be this difficult decision coming in of, as you're doing all of these things, you're, going through your busy tasks, that, well, how do I prioritize, putting time and energy and effort towards this new inspiration, towards building this. For some of you, this could be, feeling that you're not, you don't know if you're putting too much energy towards, a bit. Sorry, guys, I don't know why I can't talk today. I'm all kinds of tongue-tied. This could be where maybe you're getting a little lost in supporting a marriage, or a little bit lost in supporting a business, something along those lines, where you now need to kind of redirect where you put your time and energy towards, and kind of redirect it back to yourself, or back to what you want to build. And I think for some of you, you're hesitant because, again, the way's a little unclear. Like, where do I find the time to do this? Where do I start to choose this over what I've always done? 7 of Coins and 7 of Swords. Well, yeah, this is definitely coming in for the 8 of Swords here. There is you guys are avoiding wanting to see something that, with the 7 of Coins, this is a card of reevaluation. It's a card of looking at what is currently in your physical environment based on the actions you've taken in the past. So this would be like, okay, you've planted that apple tree, it's starting to bear fruit. You go outside and you're now looking at the fruit that it's starting to grow, and you realize it's time to look at it and say, is it giving me enough fruit? I put so much time and energy into it. Was this worth it? Is it worth it for me to continue to put time, energy, and effort towards growing this tree? Now, this can also be where you might go out there and be like, wow, I put a lot of time and energy towards this, and it's not growing apples. Or it's produced 1 apple and I was hoping for 50 apples. Or it's actually a peach tree. But with the 7 of Swords coming in, this is when we're trying to avoid that moment. We're trying to avoid that evaluation, most likely because there's something there that isn't going to perhaps be what you were hoping it was going to be. Or you're just worried about looking at it and saying, okay, we do need to put more time and energy towards this, but how do I do that? So maybe you notice that your apple tree is only growing 5 apples, but it's growing apples and you really do want those apples. And now it's time to kind of evaluate, well, this may be a much bigger thing for some of you, where it's almost like you have to look at it from this perspective of, well, why did you start to build that apple tree to begin with the Knight of Swords? What was the experience you were hoping to get out of that? Was it just to see if you could garden and grow something? Was it because you wanted to see if you could actually grow apples because you want to plant an orchard and you had this long-term vision for what you want to do with your property? Or is it something where you were hoping just to have, 50 apples in 1 apple tree and you just wanted it to be pretty so that you could sit underneath it and every fall pick apples and, make a pie with them? But there's something here around, because you're avoiding it. I think it's because you want it. You do want it, but you just don't know how to you know that there's going to be some sacrifice involved, especially with the 2 of Coins coming in, where you have to put a little extra time and energy and effort. So this would be like, let's say you have a reconnection, maybe a rekindling of your passion for your significant other. And you're like, oh, I really am reconnecting with my significant other, my romantic partner. But when I'm looking now at our marriage, or at the foundation that we've been working towards, I know there needs to be more. I know that I need to step up my game. I know we need to level up, because there's something about this experience that isn't quite jiving. And I feel like at this point, what I'm feeling called to do is we need to move. We need to go someplace else. Where we are, it's not working for us or working for me. But then there's this feeling that comes in of like, yeah, but what if we go someplace else? What's going to happen? What if it doesn't get better? What if I, but so there is this feeling here. This is very important with this 8 of Swords, with this kind of like mental negative programming of, there's something that you're trying to avoid seeing in your experience, where you need to continue either to further invest or to walk away to honor the new passion. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what is going on with the Queen of Cups. Yeah. Oh, Queen of Cups again. So double confirmation there with the Ace of Cups. Yeah, new love. There's a reconnection to love and a reconnection to that spark within you. And I think for some of you, you're realizing you can't have one without the other. You can't take action without some type of emotional investment, without connecting to your why, because that could be the Ace of Cups. You're realizing again your why. What do I need out of my experience to feel connected to what I'm doing? What are my hopes and my dreams, and how can I honor those? This can also be truly rekindling new love. This Ace of Cups is just like the Ace of Wands, the beginning, the possibility of a new deepening of emotions with someone, emotional connection. Same with the Ace of Wands. This is that, new, it's almost like starting the little bonfire, but it's just starting, and you're going to have to keep taking action to feed the fire. So, but with this coming in, there is, for some of you, I think, this rekindling of your emotions and rekindling the love for yourself, rekindling to, or reconnecting to what's in your cup, but also, again, that potential for a true kind of love connection coming in here. And I really did feel that strongly with that King of Cups coming in directly next to the Queen of Cups. There is this feeling of someone coming into your experience that is going to be kind of the masculine version of your receptive energy. Yeah, there we have the Lovers and the Tower. Yeah, there's something here. I'm just going to say it with the Lovers and the Tower. The Tower comes in when we've long needed to move on or long needed to see something, a change that needed to be made. And we waited a little too long, and boom, something happens. Something changes in our experience. This can be where we've been in a bad relationship for a long time. We've been on the fence about walking away, but we've said all the what ifs that this isn't working. This wasn't my apple tree. It's not coming out the way that I wanted. And then suddenly, you don't get the chance to walk away from the person. The other person comes in and says, we need to do it. I'm asked for a divorce. And out of the blue, you're like, oh my gosh, what? Wait. So, I don't want to state it in such a negative way, because the Tower is always a liberating point. The Tower and Justice, this is a major rebalancing. If you notice in this image, the Tower is just knocking off what was too top heavy here, and it's leaving the firm foundation below. That's also kind of in alignment with the Ten of Swords, putting down that burden. And for some of you, this could actually just be internally putting down, like breaking down your own walls around what's prevented you from deeply connecting with another individual in your life. That this could be where you realize, I do love this individual and I haven't dedicated enough time to building something with them. And I'm ready to connect again. I'm ready to honor my emotions, honor that this person is someone that I deeply connect to, and I'm going to break down my internal walls so that we have the chance again to connect. It's a beautiful, beautiful message, Aries. And I hope for some of you, there's a possibility for this. But this can also, again, be very aware. This can also mean that something is going to kind of come out of the blue. That the whole Seven of Swords and the Seven of Coins, this is, again, that avoidance of wanting to see something. Now, for some of you, this could also be in what you love. Maybe you're doing a business, running a business that, you were really passionate about. But then at a certain point, you kind of became disconnected from it, and you were just kind of doing things, and you were starting to kind of get reconnected to yourself, reconnected to your passion, and you're realizing you were trying not to see that you are no longer, that what you had originally invested time and energy into, like, really no longer fit with what's in your cup. You didn't have that emotional tie to it anymore. You put a lot of time and energy towards it, but yet you didn't want to really face it. And then suddenly, out of the blue, something kind of came in, and you had to just, let part of that tower fall away. Let part of, again, something came in and was rebalanced, whether this was the breaking or the making of a contract. But you do have the opportunity, I feel here, for many of you where this is directly relating to love or a romantic partnership, you have the ability to just let your internal walls down so that you can reconnect with either a current love in your life or the potential for a romantic partner that's been waiting to come in. Okay, let's see now. Let's get final clarifiers here for the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. Whoa. Yep. Eight of Coins. Love it. Keep going. Keep working at it. That's what the Eight of Coins says. It says keep going. It's interesting because you have the Nine of Coins, but you also have the Eight of Coins precedes the Nine of Coins. And yet I think for some of you, there's this feeling of you have a level of comfort and physical stability that is very good for you right now. But this is coming in to say, keep going. The Eight of Coins, Eight of Pentacles is perfecting something. It's becoming a master at it. And with that, as you keep going, and I think this is also, think about it, you go from the Seven of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles. This is if you really face some aspect of your experience that you know you need to, readjust what you do in the day to spend more time growing it, well, then this is that decision to dedicate yourself to doing that. This would be like saying, I realize that I haven't dedicated enough time to, again, growing my partnership, growing the home life that I've wanted. And I'm realizing it's not exactly what I wanted, but I'm going to have that deep conversation with my partner. I'm going to let my walls come down. I'm going to allow us to reconnect from this new place of inspiration and love. And I'm going to say, let's keep going at this. But what is that next thing? What is the way that I can start to really perfect growing the relationship that I want, or growing the business that I want, or growing the apple tree? But there is a coming back to your why with the Ace of Cups. Why have you been avoiding, or had in the past avoided seeing something that wasn't working, where you knew you needed to invest more time and energy and effort, or walk away? Want whatever it is, you're coming now to this point of where you're realizing, I do want to invest. I do want to do this. I do want to follow my heart, the Lovers. And I think for some of you, maybe even just the realization of wanting what you love is enough to bring that tower down. You realize I'm going to choose love, whether it's the love of an individual, whether it's the love of myself for the first time. It could be something along those lines, love of my magic, love of the experience, or just love in general. What I love, that I love to do this, and I want to create more of that in my life. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working. I'm going to keep I'm going to keep taking care of this apple tree, because I really want it to be that beautiful tree that I get to sit in the shade of it when I'm 75 years old. And that's the magic I'm going to start bringing to my everyday experience. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start pulling additional advice from Spirit here. So the first card is where we're going to look at concept of curiosity, and we're going to see where Spirit would like you to be curious about where you might be holding yourself back from really leaning in to making this decision, to kind of this recommitment. And allowing a tower to come down around something that you love. And allow yourself to really face something that, even if the way is unknown, that, this would be like, again, facing the fact that apple tree didn't produce what you were hoping for, but yet you realize, I still really have hope for that apple tree. I realize why I wanted to plant it to begin with. And I'm going to double down on my efforts, and, I'm going to do more research. I'm going to figure out how to, what else this tree might need. And I can't wait until next year when I get to see the results of my efforts. But there is a strong connection to having to really face your why. Why did you get into this relationship to begin with? Why did you take that job? Why did you, decide to get that degree? There's that feeling there of really, having to be open and honest with yourself. So we have hostilities. Number 26, which breaks down to the number 8. Number 8 is personal empowerment, empowered leadership. It can also be actual physical abundance. But with hostilities, you notice here this individual looks like he's poised to attack. He's trying to defend something. There's this feeling of kind of looking at everybody on the outside as a potential attacker. And this can be where, if you're thinking about being curious as to where we're blocking, this can kind of be that whole, being overly defensive, where, either to yourself or to others outside of yourself. So this can be where you're kind of, protecting this vulnerable part of yourself. That, no, I don't get too close to me because I don't think I can handle it. This would be like wanting to recommit to a partnership, but you're like, but no, the last time I was so hurt, I just can't do it. Or I don't know if I can, reinvest in this because in the past, I wasn't able to make money, or something happened. Somebody took something from me. And so now I'm going to look at everybody who comes in, who's asking to invest a little bit more. I'm going to look at them as somebody who's going to, is just trying to take from me. And here's the 10 of Wands coming in again. So double confirmation here. For some of you, you actually don't want to put down the burden. So let's see here. We have 4 of Cups in the World. Yeah, there's the burden of feeling dissatisfied with your life. That's really what the 4 of Cups means, that you're looking at everything in your life external to you, and it's like, well, that doesn't fulfill me, and that doesn't meet my needs, and that person isn't giving to me enough. There's something here that's not fulfilling. And the whole point of this card is to show, yeah, but what about your cup? You're looking outside of yourself to see like what's going to fulfill you, but you have not been focused on your cup. What are those needs? What are those dreams, those hopes that somehow are not being fulfilled by what's external to you? With the World coming in, this is a hard stop to that kind of experience. This is saying that cycle is done. This cycle where you had to bear the burden of possibly everybody else or somebody else's decisions, because these are all decisions to take action. And the 10 of Wands can be sometimes where we take on other people's bad decisions and we carry those on our shoulders. We carry the poor decisions of a family member. We carry the poor decisions of a business owner or the business itself. And this is saying it's time. That's done. It's time to reconnect with your cup. And it's time to put down the burden. And where are you possibly trying to defend maintaining that burden? This can be where you're, becoming defensive and, if I walk away from this business or this job, then, what if I can't find another one? The Fool, it's that fear of kind of going out there fresh as ourself. I don't know who I'm going to be. I don't know where this is going to go. And so you instead, defend all the reasons why you have to stay. Same thing with being in a relationship that feels like very burdensome like this, or is not bringing that level of satisfaction. It's saying, yes, but I have to stay in this relationship because for the kids, or because we've been together for so long, or because X, Y, and Z. And it's saying, you don't have to bear the burden of a bad relationship or bear the burden of anything, really. This is just you allowing with the World coming in. This is just a hard stop. A hard stop to this whole cycle. So really take a look and be curious as to where perhaps you're trying to, again, defend not wanting to put down a burden. This is carrying somebody else's business forward. putting it on. And this can also be for some of you where you've maybe started a new job and you're starting to get back into your old pattern of behavior where you're like, well, I guess I'll just do everything again like I did before. or the same thing in a relationship, or you get into a new relationship and you're like, well, I guess I'll just, take it all on myself the way I always do. And it's saying, no, this new cycle, you have the total opportunity to start this whole cycle fresh, to kind of throw out the negative mental programming from the past that got you into carrying the burden to begin with. And this is saying you have that ability to just say, no, I'm going to look at this relationship from a totally new perspective and say, I don't have to bear that burden. We can have a different dynamic. We can get into a different partnership. And for a lot of you, I see that there's a very strong partner out there available for you, but you have to be the one to open up to them. You have to be the, or same thing with, let's say maybe this is a manager or a boss in your life, that there's something that you need to really, kind of be open to discussing around, not bearing all the burden on yourself. So we have for courage, this is where Spirit would like you to have the courage to surrender yourself to the messages on these cards so that you can take empowered action. It says, surrender the drama. It says, no matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. Now, this could be this tower moment, maybe where you finally realize, I need to discuss this with my significant other. This level of, carrying too much weight on my shoulders, or that I've invested time and energy into something and it just isn't coming out the way that I wanted. With many of you, this is a very specific message with the the 4 of Wands and the 2 of Coins. There's this level of kind of, well, why am I putting, so much energy into this marriage when in reality, if I look at this, it's not bearing the fruit that I want. Now, this could be, again, take this into the business world. This can be like, why am I putting so much time and energy into this business or somebody else's business when in reality, this is not bearing the fruit that I want? I'm not getting paid enough. I've waited too long for that bonus check or that promotion, something along those lines. And this is saying, honor your emotions, honor what you feel, so that you can have this honest conversation here. And the other thing with the King of Cups is that he is the emotionally mature individual. Again, he understands how to take action from a place of what he's feeling, but not in a way where it's going to be the dramatic person who just like bursts into tears or gets mad and stomps out of the room. This is someone who understands that he will express, this is how I feel, and therein is my why, in why something needs to change, or why I can no longer take on these extra burdens, or why I can no longer be the sole, breadwinner in our relationship, or the sole person who does all the tasks with the family, or whatever it is. So, keep that in mind, that you have the ability, I think, to really step into that place of emotional maturity this month as well, in honoring your own emotions. It says, surrender your need to always be right. Give others a gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. So it's interesting that both of these cards speak to help resolve the issue more quickly, help resolve conflicts and improve relationships. So there's something here around, there is an issue that needs to be resolved. Whether this is within yourself, that you're actually kind of battling yourself and not maybe maintaining, again, kind of a repeat behavior in a new environment, a new job, a new relationship, or whether this is literally there is an issue, there is a conflict in your current relationship or in your current place of work that needs to be resolved. But the beauty of this is saying that it can be resolved. And this is that month, that kind of doorway to do that, that's going to then open up the gateway to you feeling kind of free and having the experience that I think you've wanted for a long time, letting the Queen of Wands come out to play. So with the surrender, you need to always be right. This is actually a very freeing, thing to keep in mind when you are having that difficult conversation, let's say with a romantic partner. Because if you give them the chance to talk, to first of all, state and honor what's in your cup. What are you feeling? What is that? But then to state very, again, from a place of, deep emotional maturity of, well, what do you need? I need X, Y, and Z in my life to feel this, or I need more support here, or this is a long-term dream of mine and I need to start working towards that. But then you let the other person then come back and you give them the ability to return the favor, basically, and say the same. If you're going to state what your dream is and what's not working for you in the current situation, well, then allow the other individual to state the same. Maybe you didn't realize that there's a deep need, dream, desire, hope, wish that they too want to work towards, and that something is not feeling good for them either. This could also be, again, in the work environment. You might say, I don't feel supported. I keep taking on all these projects and I have not seen a bonus or even had any type of recognition. And it's making me feel like I don't want to continue to invest here. And your boss or manager might come back and say, oh my gosh, I had no idea you felt that way. That is not our intention at all. In fact, at the end of this month, we were going to give you this bonus and we were going to do all these things. And I'm so sorry. Let's see what we can do to make this right. But from our perspective, we thought we were giving you the kudos. Apparently, it wasn't in the way that you were hoping for or as fast enough as you were hoping for. So this is that beautiful chance to really listen to the other side. And if this is for a romantic relationship, you might be surprised in that what they tell you, even if doesn't exactly line up, like your dream is not the same dream, or what you're finding is lacking in your relationship is not the exact same thing that they're finding is lacking in your experience. It could be that you realize where you two align. That maybe one person is feeling disgruntled about, doing too much in the home, and one person's feeling disgruntled about doing too much outside of the home, and you realize, wait a second, why don't we swap? Why don't we swap roles? Or why don't we build time in so that you can do more things with the family in the home, and I'm going to find some new things to do outside of the home. And suddenly it's like, well, wait a second. It's like you just needed to have that moment. It doesn't mean that one person is more right than the other. It's that both of you get to honor your emotions, your emotional experience in your relationship together. And then you get to then recommit and start to build it better. Okay. And again, if this is in a work environment, you say the same thing. You do need something extra to not have to bear the burden. And then you let that work, the place of work come back and let them know how they're going to help support you. And maybe there might be something out of the blue that comes in that, they may say, we didn't ask you to take on all of this, but now we recognize how much you've done and we are willing to, give you X, Y, and Z extra. And suddenly, again, there is no kind of right or wrong. Maybe you did take on those extra responsibilities yourself, but now they need to honor that you did do them and they need to, compensate you in some way fairly. Okay, so let's go ahead here and pull card for the concept of contemplation, and this is going to be where if I can shuffle these cards, this is going to be where Spirit is asking you to stay reflective and contemplative throughout the month of December to really ground this reading into your experience. Where can you put down the burden, and where can you recommit to growing something in a way that is more satisfying for you? And I love how it says you're already doing it. Stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. Beautiful. So for many of you, this is that extra confirmation of saying you are in the right relationship. You are in the right place. You are in the right job. But you just need to honor your emotions. Honor what doesn't feel right in this moment. Express it. Allow that tower to come down so you can reconnect with what you love. Either reconnect with what you love about your job, reconnect with what you love about your romantic partner or your family, or just your experience in and of itself. But I love that it says you're already doing it. So for many of you, this is just confirmation to say, just keep going. Recommit from a new why, from a new love, from a new rekindling of your magic, of that flame within, that spark. Okay, and I'm going to pull a final card here, for the concept of the overarching spiritual lesson that you're learning about yourself for the month of December. And I will read the excerpt from the oracle, from the book that comes with this oracle deck, so that we get an additional message that doesn't come directly from me. So we have Star Child, and it's also number 8. So for many of you, this is really stepping up into a place of personal empowerment, a really empowered place in the month of December, but from a place of honoring your emotions. So, Aries, you are a sign that works with your passions. But now sometimes what can happen is when we are so focused on, taking action and working from that place of passion, that we sometimes can forget that we need to know, we need to feel, we need to honor that we're exhausted and we just feel like we want to break down and cry at the end of every day. We need to honor that we're feeling frustrated and we have this constant baseline level of irritation, and we need to address that. So there's this level of just being able to really face what you're feeling, honor that, love it, accept it, and express from that place in a way that is not hostile, not dramatic, but just in a way of saying, I shouldn't have to feel this way. And then let the other person respond. And I think you guys are going to be very surprised at what comes in for you, the beneficial quality that comes in. So we have number 8, Star Child. It says, the light of the stars exists in you. The earth wants you to share that light with humanity. You are asked to understand that you are meant to be here, that you have spiritual work to accomplish. Give up the idea that you belong somewhere else, to another home in the stars. Instead, let the starlight of your inner being shine here on earth, where it shall make such a positive difference in the world. Fall in love with Earth's beauty. She can and will support you in all ways. And I feel almost like this is kind of like a coded message. It's almost like saying, give up the idea that you belong somewhere else. There's this element of saying, you are where you need to be right now. So don't kind of keep looking. That's really what this is right here. The 4 of Cups is like that constant, looking, the grass is greener someplace else, searching outside of yourself for what you need to find within. So it's time to really, I think, wherever this message applies to, again, there's this recommitting to grounding yourself and saying, no, this is where I am. This is what I want to commit to. And I'm going to start doing it from a place of my why. Why am I going? What do I want to grow out of what I have now? And it says, have you been dreaming of other places you would prefer to be? Are you wondering if there is more to life on this planet than suffering and struggle? Perhaps you know you have a mission, yet you doubt that you can succeed. Perhaps you love your life here, but yearn to experience the spiritual purity that exists in the higher vibrational fields of the stars. You may feel like a tourist in need of a fix of your home language to endure adapting to a very different world. Grounding yourself here on earth enables you to fulfill your life mission. You cannot accomplish this without feeling that you belong here. Your feet need to be planted on the earth. Relax and trust that you are meant to be here. You have a special light to share and a particular spiritual vibration to live, so that the quotient of embodied spiritual light on the earth increases. You are a part of an important team of spiritual beings working to assist humanity to grow spiritually. The challenge for a star-seeded soul is to accept human beings as they are, without despairing over their darker side. The violence may frighten you, but your love will help humanity learn to use that violence to dismantle old structures and create new ways of being. It can be channeled to energize humanity with a can-do attitude towards creating a more loving and functional world. Remember, you came to this planet to learn and to help heal others. You agreed to take this journey because you can assist both the earth and humanity to evolve their frequency. It is possible, and you are helping make it so. There are 3 truths that will help you embrace your journey on this planet. Firstly, you carry the purity of your star ancestry in your heart. You can return through meditation or relaxation at any time. You often return to your star-born home during sleep. The loved ones from that place are very aware of your journey here and are helping every step of the way. They send you frequencies from home, like divine care packages which fuel you for your earthly tasks. Secondly, you are so filled with love that you are capable of loving all on this planet. You have compassion even for those who are very wounded and fearful, and at times act out in ways of violence, cruelty, and ignorance. Now, the human capacity for courage, compassion, and light is increasing. Your work as part of the team of light-loving beings is already having an effect. Thirdly, as a star-seeded being, you have special resources for your journey here on Earth. Your every spiritual request and need will be met by a loving team of helpers. You get to have a lot of fun in your healing mission if you so choose. It doesn't only have to be hard work, which is the 10 of Wands. It can be fun, like the Knight of Wands. It doesn't only have to be hard work, though of course sometimes it will be. Just remember that the stars shine with joy in the sky, and you can shine as a star with joy upon the earth. This is your nature. This is how you can best fulfill your life mission. So for all of you who are wondering if you make a difference, if the work that you do and the burdens you carry are even being noticed, they are. They are. But there's time now for you to recognize and honor the love of that divinity that lies within you, of your own passion, something that is truly unique to yourself. And it's time to lead from that place, time to start having fun with your experience, and to really, again, honor what you're feeling. And wherever something is not feeling right, it's time to open yourself up to that and realize, I can change this. It's within my power to start that conversation so that there can be a change and I can recommit myself to something with surety in knowing that it does honor my spark. It does honor my needs. And ultimately, it will help you step into your place of magic again. Beautiful message, Aries. I'm going to leave it here for you. If you would like to book your own personal reading or just learn more about the services that I offer and myself as an individual, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in January for your next Illumination reading. And I apologize, Aries, for getting this out so late. I know many of the other signs had theirs out mid-November, but I will work to make sure you guys are one of the first ones next month. All right, Aries, have a wonderfully empowering and beautifully emotionally connective and cleansing month. Bye.